I got fired because my manager thought I was too pretty to be taken seriously. They said I didn't look like a professional. Turns out, beauty made me a target, not an advantage. Asterisk I've always been told I'm beautiful. Big eyes. Sharp jawline. Thick black hair. Perfect skin. People assume I'm lucky. That life must be easy for a girl like me. But they're wrong. Being pretty doesn't protect you. In my case, it ruined everything. My name is Mina. I'm 27 years old. And I just got fired for something I didn't even say or do, but something I simply was. I worked as a marketing coordinator at a Ryzen tech company. Let's call it Brightspark. When I first got hired, I was over the moon. It was a dream job, great salary, modern office, cool people, and a chance to finally prove myself. I came in early, stayed late, took notes, organized everything, ran campaigns. Like a machine. My coworkers, they liked me. The clients, they trusted me. I was making real impact, but my manager Samir, he never looked at me like he looked at the others. He always said things like, "You're too glam for this floor. Go and do a photo shoot after work. Hope the client isn't too distracted." He'd laugh afterward, like it was a joke. But I never found it funny. At first, I thought I was being too sensitive. So I kept working, kept smiling, kept proving I belonged, until one meeting changed everything. It was a pitch presentation, my idea, my design, my strategy. I stayed up all night making it perfect, and when I started speaking, the client leaned forward. He was impressed. So was everyone else. But halfway through, Samir interrupted me. "Let's have Daniel continue from here." I blinked. "Sorry? But you've made your point, Mia. Let's not overdo it." Everyone looked confused. Daniel took over. Read off the same slides I made. I sat there fuming, but quiet, because I didn't want to look emotional. Later that day, I asked Samir what happened. "You cut me off mid-presentation." He leaned back in his chair. "Look, Mina, you're good, really. But you don't need to be the face of every pitch. We don't want the client thinking we're selling glamour instead of strategy." My heart dropped. "Excuse me? You're too pretty, Mina. Sometimes that's a distraction. We need them to take us seriously." I was stunned. Not because of the words, but because he said it so casually, like it was normal. That week, he started excluding me from meetings, gave my reports to others, passed my ideas off as team projects. The worst part? Some coworkers started treating me differently too, like I hadn't earned anything. Like I was just a pretty face. Then one Friday morning, I was called into HR. They looked uncomfortable. "We're terminating your position, Mina. Effective immediately." I froze. "What? Why? I've never missed a deadline. I've led the highest performing campaigns." They exchanged glances. "It's a business decision, restructuring." But when I walked out, I passed by Samir's office. He was laughing. With Daniel, Fiving. Like they had won something. Later that night, one of my coworkers messaged me, privately, "I'm sorry. Samir said you were too visible, that you made him feel like people only listened to you because of how you looked." I stared at the message, shaking, angry. All this time, I worked my soul off, just to be reduced to my appearance. They didn't fire me because I failed. They fired me because my confidence made him insecure, because my face made them uncomfortable. I wanted to cry, to scream, to throw everything away. But then something inside me clicked. No, I wasn't going to hide. I wasn't going to shrink. I was going to speak. That night, I made a video. I didn't name names, didn't drag the company. I just told the truth. Today I got fired, not for my work, but for being too pretty. Apparently, looking confident makes some people uncomfortable. But I won't apologize for being who I am. I posted it and went to bed, not expecting much. By morning, the video had over 600,000 views. People were commenting, sharing, calling out companies for punishing women who refused to dull their shine. Other women shared stories. I was told to wear less makeup. They said I was too distracting in meetings. My boss said I looked like a model, not a leader. Suddenly, I wasn't alone. A day later, an editor from a magazine reached out. "Would you like to write your story? We want to feature your voice." I said yes. Then a recruiter messaged me. "We have a marketing director role open. You've got talent and fire." I took it. New city, new team, new beginning. And guess what? I show up fully dressed, lips done, hair curled, and no one asked me to dim my light. Because now, I work where brilliance isn't measured by how invisible you can be. Asterisk after I posted the video, my life changed. One video, one voice, one story. And it spread like wildfire. My inbox exploded. Strangers thanking me. Others sharing their pain. So many women. So many stories. All different faces. But the same core pain. Being punished for being confident in a world that only values us. When we're small, news outlets reached out. Podcasters, bloggers, HR professionals, even lawyers. A woman named Neela, a labor rights attorney, reached out with a message that shook me. Mina, what happened to you is called gender-based discrimination. And it's illegal. If you're ready to take action, I'd like to help. At first, I hesitated. Me? Take legal action against a tech giant? I was just one woman. One voice. But then I remembered how I sat in that HR office, heart pounding, watching their lips move while my career was quietly erased, and how Samir had laughed after doing it. So I messaged her back, let's do this. We met at her office the next day. Nyla was direct, professional, brilliant. She laid out a plan. They didn't give a real reason for termination. We can challenge that. We'll also use your video as public documentation. And the message from your coworker? That's critical. I handed her everything, emails, meeting notes, the screenshots. I had receipts. Meanwhile, the magazine article went live. The title? When Beauty Becomes a Burden, minus story. People read it. Shared it. Cried over it. I got emails from women in law firms, doctors, architects, teachers, all saying the same thing. This happened to me too. Brightspark remained silent. They didn't release a statement. They didn't respond to emails. But I knew they were watching. Then something unexpected happened. Daniel messaged me. The same guy who took over my presentation. The one who stood next to Samir laughing as I walked out. He said a long apology. Mina, I should have spoken up. I knew it wasn't right. I was scared of losing my job. But now I see what you did was braver than all of us combined. I didn't reply, not to be cruel, but because I didn't need his regret. I needed justice. The legal case moved forward. Slowly, painfully, but it moved. And Nayla was a force. She built it like a fortress. Every line, every receipt, stacked in my favor. Brightspark tried to settle quietly. They offered money. A small one-time payment. With a clause, you must remove all content related to the situation. I refused. Nayla nodded with pride. They're scared of your story. That means we're winning. Then came the hearing. It wasn't a big courtroom. It was small, private, but to me, it was everything. Samir was there. He didn't look smug anymore. He looked tired, panicked, shrinking in his chair. I told the panel everything. From the jokes to the dismissals to the comment that shattered me. You're too pretty to be taken seriously. I watched their faces, disgust, sympathy, silence. Then Nyla laid out the evidence. Calm, factual, flawless. After 2 hours, they took a break. I stepped out, breathed, cried in the hallway, because whether I won or lost, I had spoken. A week later, the decision came in. We won. Brightspark was ordered to pay damages, issue a public apology, and update internal policies. On gender-based discrimination, I cried so hard my hands shook, not because I got money, not because I won, but because the system that once silenced me finally said, you mattered. A month later, I was invited to speak at a Women in Tech Summit. I stood in front of 400 people, and I said, this isn't just about beauty. It's about assumptions, about judgment, about power. You don't have to dull your shine, just to be taken seriously. People clapped, cried, hugged me after. Later that night, I got a message from a girl I didn't know. I wore red lipstick to work today, for the first time in 6 months, because of you. And that's when I knew I hadn't just won a case. I had started a wave. Now I work as a creative director at a woman-owned agency. My desk is bright, my lipstick is loud, and my work speaks louder than any judgment ever could. I mentor interns, teach workshops, help women speak up before they're pushed out. As for Samir, he resigned. Rumor is he hasn't found work since. I don't hate him. I don't think about him much, because I'm too busy building a world where no one has to fight this battle again. It's been almost a year since the day I got fired, and I still remember the sting of Samir's words. You're too pretty to be taken seriously. That sentence used to haunt me. But now it fuels me, because I turned the worst day of my career into the beginning of something powerful. After the legal win, things moved quickly. I got job offers, invitations, partnerships. Suddenly, the girl who was told to tone it down was being asked to speak up. I started doing webinars, seminars, workshops on workplace bias. Talked about beauty, assumptions, misogyny disguised as feedback, and the more I shared, The more women spoke too. It wasn't just tech, it was everywhere. Teachers being told not to wear heels, doctors being judged by their makeup, lawyers being dismissed as too emotional for caring about their cases. One message hit me hard. A young woman named Lena wrote, "I almost quit my job last month. My boss kept making fun of how I dressed. After hearing your story, I confronted him, and for the first time, he apologized. That's when I realized this was bigger than me. I founded a small community online. I called it Visible, a space for women who were told to dim themselves to survive. We shared stories, job advice, support, laughter, tears. We grew fast, 100 people, then 1,000, then 25,000 in just 6 months. Then came an opportunity I never saw coming. A global women's leadership conference reached out. They wanted me to be their keynote speaker. I froze when I read the email. Me. Speak on a stage in front of thousands? A year ago, I couldn't even finish a meeting without being shut down. Now they wanted to hear me lead. I said yes. The day of the conference, I wore red. Not muted, not neutral, red, powerful, bright, unapologetic. I stepped on stage, lights shining, cameras rolling, eyes watching, and I told my story. From the jokes, to the silencing, to the firing. To the decision to speak up, to fight back, to grow louder. I ended with this: we don't owe anyone smallness. We don't need to shrink to fit into outdated systems. You don't need to change how you look to be taken seriously. Let them adjust to your power, not the other way around. The applause was thunderous. Women stood up, clapped, some cried. I cried too, because that stage was never meant for me. Not according to people like Samir, but I took it anyway. After the speech, I was approached by a publishing company. "Have you thought about writing a book?" I hadn't, but suddenly, it felt right. So I wrote. Page after page. My story, other women's stories, lessons. We called it Unboxed, why they tried to shrink us and what we did instead. It hit bestseller lists within weeks. I was invited to talk shows, panels, podcasts, but I always made time for the Visible community. They were my heartbeat, my reminder, my fire. One night, as I sat responding to messages, I got an email from someone unexpected. Samir. I stared at it, heart still. I opened it. He wrote, "Mina, I watched your speech. I read the article. I saw what you've built. I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know you were right. I let my insecurity become your punishment. I'm sorry." I didn't reply, because closure doesn't always require conversation. Sometimes, closure's a full, happy life without the people who tried to break you. A few months later, I launched a mentorship program for women entering male-dominated industries. For women afraid to take up space. We gave them tools, confidence, and most importantly, community. I no longer work in marketing. Now, I'm a founder, a speaker, an advocate. But most of all, I'm a woman who refused to be boxed in by anyone's fear of her light. And if anyone asks what happened, I say this: they fired me because they couldn't handle my presence. But I built something that can't be fired, can't be shut down, can't be ignored. Because once you speak up, you never go back to silence. And once you've been dismissed, you learn how to never dismiss yourself again.